Hey guys, welcome back to 22 Lima Romeo. I'm Jeremy, and today we're out here at NCRGC, Northern Colorado Rowdy Gun Club, to shoot and record the August 2024 NRL22 Course of Fire for you guys. A couple of house cleaning things that I need to talk about before we get into the stages. Last month I did something kind of stupid. Magazine!
No, don't do that. 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 You ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that.
That could definitely be perceived as an unsafe action. And somebody reached out to me on Facebook and let me know that had I been at their match and I had done that, they probably would have DQ'd me from the match. So, going forward, I will not abandon my rifle like that. Luckily, I didn't lose control of it because I didn't have positive control of it, and that is never something that we should do while we're out here on the firing line. All right, another house cleaning item we should talk about is the end of the grace period. So if you haven't got your NRL22 membership yet, your scores are no longer going to be tracked. So if you want to keep track of how your progress is going in the league, be sure to sign up at NRL22.org. Membership also includes a discount for this awesome merchandise that they've got on the website. Something else that I wanted to talk about is during this video, there is going to be a couple of Easter eggs. We have hidden a couple of items that were given to us at the National Championship, and I want you guys down in the comments to tell me when you find them and where you found them. I'll give you a hint. One of them is wooden, and the other one has the face of a former NRL22 National Champion. That being said, we've got some targets set up downrange. Let's go ahead and get this Course of Fire underway.
Guys, I'd like to apologize for the beginning of this video. For the first 3 stages, unfortunately, there is an awful lot of background noise. In life, sometimes just like you can't pick your family, you can't pick the people next to you at the range. And while this gentleman was knowledgeable, he had an awful lot to say. Let's get into stage 1, Rowdy Rampage. We have a 1 1/4 inch KYL rack at 45 yards. We're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready, and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, engage the targets in the following manner and order with 1 shot each. From the left tip, large to small on the KYL rack. From the middle tip, small to large. From the right tip, large to small.
This is your dots.
Ready?
And you're looking at the dots.
Ready.
Stand by.
Just like
Engage.
this.
First up at this month's Course of Fire, we have ourselves a spicy tank trap. For my gear, I'll be using the Armageddon Gear medium, and I'm going to have my optic set at about 12 power, but I'm going to quickly jack that up to 25, as you'll see here. For my strategy on this stage, I'm going to employ the same fundamental principles that I usually use on a tank trap. That's display my legs parallel with the firing line, square up on my rifle, reach up and make contact with the prop with my support hand. Now the reason for jacking up the magnification is so that I can see the small influences that my body's having on the stock. At higher magnification, it makes it a lot easier to see how you're influencing the reticle. When you're shooting at such small targets, I think being able to really be conscious of your wobble zone and try to come up with creative ways to actually minimize that wobble zone before you start your trigger pull.
Lean into it. As you get fatigued, you tend to lean back. You got to remind yourself to lean back. Handguns kick on you.
Working off of all 3 tips, each position is relatively the same. If you just approach every one of them and not try to utilize any potential gimmicks, they all feel very familiar. Luckily for this stage, we didn't have to shoot off of the arms or the legs, just the 3 tips. I think that was a really great way to start this month's Course of Fire.
Touched it.
I'm really looking forward to see what the next one has. Let's get on into it.
And you're out.
Way low. 28 seconds
I think you're
left.
anticipating.
How much?
You're out of practice.
28.
By the way.
Oh, I was moving.
Don't even have practice.
Didn't need to.
Not out, I just don't. So
We're working.
All right.
By the way.
Alright guys, next up we have Pigpen. We have a 2 2.5 inch on a double hanger at 75 yards. We're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready, and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, engage the targets in the following order and manner. From the 5-gallon bucket, 1 shot each, small to large. From the chair seat, 2 shots each, large to small. From prone, 1 shot each, small to large, and then again from the chair seat, 1 shot each, large to small.
That Isaac was talking about that he wanted me to get. I don't know if
Possibly. I don't know what model he's referring to.
Okay.
This is.
Ready?
If you get
Ready.
a
Stand by.
model of Glocks,
Engage.
this is very similar to the Glock 17. It's not a Glock, but it's a lot lighter.
Alright guys, we're diving right into this pig pen.
Basically, most
For my gear, I'll be using the
full-size
Armageddon Gear
handguns are
Medium
pretty- so this is a
and the Harris
full-size
SBRM
safety
bipod
control.
with a really right stuff ARCA adapter. I'll have my optics set at about 12 power
I'll
for
make
this
it
stage.
safe for you. I'll get the evil, wicked ammo out of it. So,
For my strategy on this one, this particular stage has a very tricky target sequence, so I highly recommend you write a clear, detailed dope card for this stage to help keep you on track of where you're at and where you're going to be going, and what your shot sequence is going to look like while you're in that position. This one's tricky, so it's going to be easy to trip yourself up as you're moving through these different positions, because oftentimes the engagement on the next position will change.
headshot, you want to take an extra second. Because if you hit him in the jaw or the ear, what good does it do? Might get you elected president, but that's about it. So what I'll do here, get the magazine.
When I build positions onto either one of these props, I'm kind of utilizing the same technique. I'm trying to use my knee for the stock of the rifle, while setting the fore end of the rifle neatly up there on that medium so that it's nice and still. I kind of like this tricky target engagement because it keeps you on your toes mentally. You have to think about what you're going to be engaging, how you're going to be engaging it, and what your next shots are going to be once you transition positions. I think Mr. Rowdy Dray did a fantastic job on this stage, and I think it's about time we get on to the next one.
21 seconds
I
left.
don't have
Plenty
to
of
look at
time.
things. As long as I keep my gun down range, fingers off trigger, I'll sit here, take a breath, relax, get the tension out. That helps you. Now,
For stage 3, we have Bermuda Triangle. We have a 1.5 at 55, a 2 at 82, and a 3-inch at 94 yards. We're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready, and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, engage the targets in the following order and manner. Left outside of the pyramid, near target, 4 different rungs. From the center of the pyramid, far target, 3 different rungs. Finally, from the right outside of the pyramid, middle target, 3 different rungs.
so we'll start off with the biggest gun.
Stand by.
Just so you see, we're using the
Engage.
same
Alright,
ammo
rolling right
and
into something that I haven't heard about
Here's
since
just
I was a
the
kid,
round.
and that's the Bermuda Triangle. I'll have my optic at about 12 power for this stage, and I'll be using holdovers instead of dialing for each range. For a strategy on this one, I think efficiency of movement is gonna be the name of the game for this stage. The target engagement on this stage, nor the target size for this stage, are too terribly challenging. What's really going to push people is just the sheer volume of movement that we have in this stage.
You notice the recoil gets a little snappy. Not bad, but you can tell. Now you go to the little gun.
Having a game plan on how to make your movement efficient and sticking to that game plan, I think really is going to be the recipe for success on this
The bigger
stage.
the gun, the more control it is. The smaller the gun, the more you're going to feel it. You take your pros and your cons.
Yeah.
You want to do a little bit more, or are you ready to call it?
I think my hands on the bed.
You're done. Fair enough. I'm going to do one more mag through my new one, just because I want to get it just a hair more broken in, but I'm pretty much about there.
As long as you can build into those positions quickly, and your target acquisition fundamentals are working for you, which is why we've got that optic dialed down to 12 power, I think this is going to be a stage that most folks don't time out on. Although this one does throw a lot at you as far as movement goes, sticking to that game plan, making your movement efficient, really is going to be the recipe for success on this stage. So far, this Course of Fire has been really balanced and relatively difficult. I'm excited to see what Stage 4 holds for us. Let's get on into that
1
one.
second faster.
Nice.
Rounding out the August Course of Fire, we have Stage 4, Rockin' Crocs. We have a 1 and 1.5 on a double hanger at 50 yards, and we have a 2.5 and 3 inch on a double hanger at 100. We're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, engage the targets with 1 shot each in the following order and manner. From the 55-gallon drum, near, small to large. From the center block, far, small to large. From the 55-gallon barrel, near, small to large. Again from the center block, far, small to large. And finally back to the 55-gallon barrel, near, small to large. Note, this is the time stage where you earn 0.1 bonus point per second remaining on the clock.
Ready?
Stand by. Engage.
Fortunately for this stage, we are not going to be rocking Crocs. That's just the stage name. For my gear, I'll be using the Armageddon Gear Medium. That's it. I'll have my optic set, again at about 12 power. I'll have my rifle zeroed for the 50-yard target, and I'll be holding over 1.8 mils for the 100-yard targets. Echoing what we experienced in the last stage, efficiency of movement is going to be the ticket on this one. However, I feel like you got plenty of time to make your transitions and still build stable positions. From the center block, I'm going to be using my right knee as support for the stock of the rifle so I can stabilize the muzzle and make all these impacts count. Now from the barrel, there's a couple different ways to approach this. Some people, like me, choose to approach a barrel from a kneeling position. Other people that might be a little shorter than me or a little more flexible tend to like to take this bent over from a standing position with their legs splayed out parallel with the firing line. You do what works for you on this kind of stuff. I don't think dialing the 2 different ranges was the right thing to do. I think it would just burn too much time. So holdovers seem to be the most efficient way to move through this stage. Target sizes aren't too terribly difficult. The target engagement isn't too terribly difficult.
Oh, damn. Target malfunction. I'm going to shoot the small one twice.
This one is just a balanced and fun stage. Let's get on to the 5th and final stage for this month.
41 seconds left, so we gotta redo it.
I don't want to redo it.
Okay.
Wrapping up this month's Course of Fire, and the summer for some of these young guns, we have Stage 5, Back to School Struggle. We have a 1 inch at 44, a 1.5 and 2 inch on a double hanger at 77, a 2.5 and 3 on a double hanger at 99. We're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the star signal, take a prone supported position, engage the targets from near to far, small to large. Then engage the targets far to near, small to large, from any rung on the ladder except the bottom rung. Restrictions: no adjustments to the elevation turret after time starts. A mandatory mag change is required after the 5th shot and before the 10th shot. If 10 shots are fired and a mag change was not conducted, then shots 9 and 10 will be recorded as misses.
Ready?
Yeah.
Stand by. Engage.
Luckily for us, the back to school struggle is a lot more difficult than this stage. For my gear, I'll be using the Harris SBRM bipod with the Really Right Stuff ARCA adapter and the Armageddon Gear Medium in heavy fill. I'll have my optic set again at about 12 power. And per the stage rules, I'll be using holdovers instead of dialing. Now this stage is pretty cut and dry. 5 shots from prone supported, magazine change, build a position on the ladder, 5 more shots. Where things get a little tricky on this one is in the target sequence. See, a lot of times we shoot large then small. But for this stage, once we transition to the ladder, we're going to shoot far to near, but small to large. And that can trip you up. So during the stage you'll hear me say,
Small to large.
You'll hear me repeat that to myself just to keep myself on sequence.
Small to large.
Building a position on the ladder really isn't that tricky, as long as you reach up over the top of your optic, grab a hold of the rail of the ladder, and apply a little bit of pressure from the heel of your palm down into the top of your optic, helping to settle that forehand down into your bag to make these shots stable. The target engagement on this one is the trickiest part. Other than that, this was a refreshing Course of Fire, and I had a lot of fun shooting it.
42 seconds left.
Nice.
We should name that one the time stage.
All right, guys. Well, that is a wrap for the August 2024 NRL Monthly Course of Fire. That one was kind of difficult, but it was extremely well balanced. The course designer is a young man by the name of Rowdy Dray from Deer Creek Conservation Club in Marion, Indiana. Rowdy, you produced a fantastic Course of Fire. I put a stamp of approval on this one. If you guys have any questions about the Course of Fire, please email info@nrl22.com. But for right now, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to pack up our stuff and get out of here. But if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel, click that like button, and share this video with a shooting buddy. We hope to see you out on the range.